Hi everyone. I'll just wait for a couple of minutes because let's everybody join. So I'll start with that part. So yeah, so how your preparation is going on, by the way? So let's see. Just a minute. Yeah, just a minute. Huh? So shall we start with the session now? Just a minute. Huh? Okay, sure. Let's go ahead with the session. Yeah. Now before going ahead, now I just start with one question. So can you try this question? Okay, I'm just showing you this question. Can you try this question? I'll solve this question for you. But हम लोग, can you try this? This is a cat question. So can you try this question? Just confirm my voice is loud and clear. Yeah, thanks, Sandeep. Yeah, can you try this question? This is a cat question. फिर I'll try to address your queries. Uh, Yoshika Kumar, I'll reading your query. Yeah, this is a live session. So please help me understand reality. IPM rank student. ठीक है, getting only 50 in the Krakow mocks. Any hopes? ठीक है, check करते हैं हम लोग. Yes. Yeah. Any solutions? क्या होगा? Answer to this question. Answer क्या होगा बताओ इसका? Yes, yes, yes. I'm looking for the answers. Yeah, you can post your answer. It's a cat question. तो I'll solve this question फिर हम लोग मैं आगे बढ़ता हूँ. Then I can prove my point what I'm trying to tell you कि क्या कैसे करना है this 5 weeks and कैसे what is my plan. Okay, so I'll tell you that part. Then you'll understand what I'm trying to actually communicate to you. Okay. यस। चलो एनीबॉडी? वन, यस, संदीप आंसर दिस करेक्टली, वेरी गुड। ओनली वन सॉल्यूशन, चलो वेरी गुड संदीप, यू गॉट द राइट आंसर। चलो मैं एक स्टार्ट करते हैं हम लोग, क्या बोल रहे हैं देखो, व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू कम्युनिकेट थ्रू दिस क्वेश्चन, राइट? Consider a four-digit number. Consider four-digit numbers for which the first two digits are equal, last two digits are equal. Okay, how many such numbers are perfect squares? Okay, now just understand. मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ ध्यान से सुनते हो. Suppose I write first two digits are equal, so numbers are a, digits are a, b, b. So this is a form of your number. Am I right? Fine. I want to check how many such four-digit numbers are there. Now, please understand, my four-digit number range is very high, na? It is from 1000 to 9999. So basically, I have something 9000 four-digit numbers. Out of that 9000 numbers, how many are of this format and how many of them are perfect square? That's what I'm trying to find out. ठीक है, तो एकदम सिंपल तरीके से शुरू करते हैं. सो जस्ट अंडरस्टैंड, मैं कुछ बोल रहा हूँ वो समझो, देन आई टेल यू कि भाई मैं कुछ प्लान बताने वाला हूँ, हाउ इट विल बी यूजफुल फॉर यू, देन यू विल अंडरस्टैंड दैट पोर्शन. इज दैट ओके? नो इश्यूज, जस्ट अ मिनट. Okay, just understand. Can I say, if I look at the alternate digit, it is a plus b, a plus b. Sum of the alternate digit is a plus b, a plus b. And the difference between them is 0. Okay, so if your difference is 0 means what? This number is divisible by 11. This number is divisible by 11. Am I right? And it's a perfect square. So can I say, if I say your n square is AABB format and your number is divisible by 11, so your n should be also divisible by 11. So what you can do, your number can be 11 square, 11 twos are 22 square, 11 threes are 33 square, and so on till what? Not 88 square, 99 square. Am I right? So on till 99 square. Am I right? Okay. Now in your exam, the calculators are allowed. तुम क्या कर सकते हो, 11 स्क्वायर, 22 स्क्वायर, 33 स्क्वायर, 99 तक के स्क्वायर्स निकाल के चेक कर सकते हो. एंड चेक करो हाउ मेनी नंबर्स आर इन दिस फॉर्मेट, ए बी बी फॉर्मेट में कितने नंबर्स है. इज दैट ओके? एंड यू विल कम टू नो कि दिस यू विल गेट what are the numbers are there, you can make a note of that. Okay, so many numbers are of this AABB format. So in this case, what I have to do, probably 11 square, 22 square I know orally, but at least 7-8 square तो 7 squares तो मुझे निकालने पड़ेंगे, 33 square, 44 square and so on. That's one way of doing this question. ठीक है. अभी सपोज आई गिव द एडिशनल डेटा, मैं तुमको एक प्रॉपर्टी बताता हूँ. तो हम लोग कौन से स्क्वायर की बात कर रहे हैं, हम लोग वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट 11 स्क्वायर, 22 स्क्वायर, 33 स्क्वायर, 44 स्क्वायर, 55 स्क्वायर, एम आई राइट, 66 स्क्वायर, 77 स्क्वायर, 88 स्क्वायर एंड 99 स्क्वायर. एम आई राइट? वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट दिस नंबर स्क्वायर्स. फाइन. वी नो वन प्रॉपर्टी, एक प्रॉपर्टी ऐसे है स्क्वायर्स का, स्क्वायर रिलेटेड प्रॉपर्टी ऐसे है that if your number is a perfect square, its second last digit will be only odd only if the last digit is 6. Second last digit odd कब होगा, जब last digit 6 होगा. Otherwise this second last digit is even only. For a perfect square, the last digit is 6, then only the second last digit will be odd. Otherwise the second last digit will be always even. You're getting my point? Fine. So now if I understand, 11 square is 121. 11 square is 121. That's a 3-digit number. 22 square 484. That's a 3-digit number. 33 square अगर मुझे पता है तो ठीक है, अदरवाइज 33 square क्या होगा, 3 स्क्वायर 9 है ना, 3 स्क्वायर 9 है, तो लास्ट डिजिट 9 है, मतलब तुम्हारा सेकेंड लास्ट डिजिट क्या होना चाहिए, इवन होना चाहिए। तो ये दोनों इक्वल नहीं हो सकते। 3 स्क्वायर इज 9 and last digit is not 6, so second last digit has to be even, तो ये 9 होना चाहिए। okay, 4 square 16, last digit is 6, तो this digit should be odd, तो ये 6 6 रिपीट नहीं हो सकता ना, because I want last two digit to be repeated, so you can't repeat 9 9, but this has to be even, you can't have a 6 6, but this has to be odd। 55 square, so it will end with 25 only, not possible। 66 square, 6 square, it will end with 6, it ends with 6, so second last digit will be odd, तो this can't repeat, odd and 6 repeat नहीं हो सकता, they can't be equal, so basically you can't have 66, that's what I'm trying to say। 77 square, 7 square 49, and last digit is not 6, can I say this number is basically going to be what, last digit is not 6, this is going to be even, so this can't be 99। 8 square, what is 8 square, 8 square 64, okay, last digit is 4, so this is even, so this is possible, this is possible। 99 square is what, 99 square is what, 9 square is 9 nines are 81, 1, as this is 1, this is even, as this is even, last two digits can't be 11 11, so that means I am left with only one square, that is 88 square। तो आप 88 का स्क्वायर निकाल लो, वो आएगा 7744, इट इज इन द फॉर्म AABB। सो मैं क्या बताने की कोशिश कर रहा हूं, बाय नोइंग दिस एडिशनल प्रॉपर्टी, instead of finding those 9 numbers ke squares, I have to just find a square of only one number, my task will get reduced। is that okay? No issues? Fine। another part is what, another part of doing this question, way of doing this question is what, कि suppose I say अरे नहीं, कोई हमने अगर you have done a method of making how to find the squares of all the numbers till 100, हमारे पास एक शॉर्टकट है वो निकालने का, वो शॉर्टकट अगर पता है तो पहले चेक करो 1 स्क्वायर टू 25 स्क्वायर में विच नंबर्स के एंड में डिजिट रिपीट होंगे, 1 स्क्वायर टू 25 स्क्वायर के एंड में विच नंबर्स के एंड में स्क्वायर रिपीट होंगे, यू रियलाइज अरे ये दो डिजिट रिपीट कहां पे होंगे, 12 स्क्वायर इज 144, 12 स्क्वायर इज 144। सो अपना मेथड निकालने का, अपना स्क्वायर निकालने का मेथड के हिसाब से दिस कुड बी 50 minus 12 the whole square, this could be 50 plus 12 the whole square, this could be 100 minus 12 the whole square। इन तीनों में से एक नंबर होना चाहिए, बराबर है। सो 50 minus 12 the whole square कैसे आएगा, 12 square 144, 1 carry forward, 25 minus 12 is 13, 13 plus 1 40, 50 plus 12 the whole square is what, 12 square 144, 1 carry forward, okay, 25 plus 1 37, 37 plus 8 is 38, 3844, and 100 minus 12 the whole square is what, 12 square is 44, 1 carry forward, 88 minus 12 is 76, 76 and 1 is 77। look at this number is in the 7744 format, आ गया मेरा आंसर। तो मैं क्या बताने की कोशिश कर रहा हूं थ्रू दिस क्वेश्चन, दैट मोर अमाउंट ऑफ नॉलेज यू हैव अबाउट दैट नंबर प्रॉपर्टीज, तुम्हारा मेथड सिंपल होता जाए, ठीक है। सो दैट्स व्हाई आई ऑलवेज गिव अ प्रेफरेंस rather than a strategy, I always give a preference to knowing the concept related to the question। पर जितना ज्यादा तुम्हें कॉन्सेप्चुअल पार्ट पता होगा उतना तुम्हारा मेथड शॉर्ट होगा। इवन इन द प्रीवियस मेथड व्हाट वी डिस्कस, डू यू नो व्हाट इज द डिलीट रूल ऑफ 11? सो जिन्होंने नंबर्स किया नहीं, कोई बोलता है सर मैंने नंबर्स ऑप्शन में डाला है, बट इफ यू डोंट नो डिविजिबिलिटी रूल ऑफ 11 तो क्वेश्चन और डिफिकल्ट हो जाएगा। ये जो मेथड है स्क्वायर निकालने का तुम्हें पता है तो तुम्हारा मेथड और इजी हो जाएगा। सो दैट्स व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू टेल यू, कि जितना ज्यादा नॉलेज होगा अबाउट दैट सब्जेक्ट टॉपिक, the method will be simpler and shorter also। is that okay? So let's move to the our main topic now, okay? Okay, so what I'm going to discuss today, I'm going to discuss, I just give the mark versus percentile analysis. In the previous session, which I discussed in 90 days to CAT, I had given that part. I'll just again discuss that part. I have just made a simple plan of that, how to make a best use of those last 5 days, 5 weeks. And उसमें हम लोग चेक करेंगे कौन से टॉपिक कर सकते हैं, कौन से टॉपिक आप स्किप कर सकते हैं. ठीक है? Then we'll see that area wise preparation also. Okay, so this is my plan for the entire session. So area wise preparation हम लोग DILR, Quant and VRC will discuss in detail part. Fine, let's go ahead now. Now this is the last year paper pattern. So all of you know that because most of our MCATs or mocks are on based on this only. So paper pattern क्या है तुम्हारा कि last year there were 24 questions in VA section, DI 22 questions. So last year this was 2 questions more than 23, and Quant 22 questions. So each correct answer 3 marks, each wrong answer -1 mark. But one thing you notice here, if you observe in DI and Quant, you will see the number of questions without options. They were considerable. Almost, not I'll say almost half, but slightly less than half. The questions without options were there. Fine. And time for the each section was 40 minutes. So my first expectation is, are you expecting the CAT 25 paper pattern on similar lines? We don't know. Okay, so I don't know what will be the, we just right now know there's going to be a 120 minutes exam. There will be 3 sections, 40 minutes, 40 minutes, 40 minutes. Beyond that, there is no other information available to it. So number of questions can go up, number of questions can come down. Weightage of individual topic, we don't know anything. Okay, so keep that in mind. That's my only communication, that don't be under assumption that, okay, it will be like a last year paper pattern. There may be changes internally. Overall time limit will remain same, but internally number of questions can change. Fine. Fine. Okay. Now again, the common questions every day we face, I'm getting so many marks. Okay. Do I have a chance in a actual CAT or something like that? Okay. Just put it, let's put it this way. Whichever mock CATs you are taking. So suppose I'm talking about the time, if somebody is taking the time MCATs. Okay. I'm saying whatever percentile score. Okay. Whatever percentile score you're getting in our MCATs, in the mock, our MCAT, time MCATs, you'll score in actual CAT, you'll score higher than that. Okay. So why I'm saying you'll score higher than that? Because it's not because that, okay, there'll be CAT probably easier than time MCATs. No, that is not a good thing. Your base will become higher. So when you give the actual CAT, your base will be almost 10 times. Okay, so what a number of takers are right now with the time MCAT, your overall, when you will actual CAT, number of takers could be around 10 times. Okay, but that include a lot of non-serious students also. There are many students, okay, we have not prepared at all, or just fill the form, or I'm in the final year of the form, I've just filled the form, let's give the exam. That kind of people. So that is the reason your rank may not go, suppose your rank is 500 in time MCAT, it won't become 5,000, it might become 2,000. So that's why your percentile will go up. So lower the range you are at a 60 percentile range, you can expect around 70-75 percentile in the actual CAT based on the same amount of performance. So your performance improves, definitely you score much better than that part. Those who are in 80-90s range, so आपका 80-90 के आसपास है, you can expect around 5 percentile jump in your final percentile. Okay, because the base will be higher and non-serious students will become will be more in that base. So that's why actual percentile will go up. So that's one part. However, if somebody really wants to know, okay, marks versus percentile, that pattern is not very much fixed. But as I said, I had shown this last time also. So I just give you this area. So this is the CAT 2024. Okay, these are the scaled scores. These are not the actual scores you had. So suppose I'm talking about at 60 percentile, 11.04 marks. Now with your present marking scheme, you can't score 11.04 marks. This is a scale score. So a person may have actually scored more than 11 or maybe scored less than 11. But his scale score is 11.04. Okay. Also, this is not exactly 60 percentile also. It is maybe 60.2 percentile. I've just rounded off to 60 percentile. You're getting my point? But this will give the enough idea how many marks are required to get a particular percentile. Okay, so if I go for the 80 percentile part, okay, so you can say in the VRC it was score was 18.23 last year. That is what, 3 questions for 1 correct, 3 6 are 18, so around net 18, 6 questions correct, approximately 6 questions correct net, your score will be in VRC will be 80 percentile. Here also around 6 questions correct, it will be 80 percentile. But QA, look at, around 4 questions correct, 4 3s are 12. You get 4 questions correct in QA last year, the percentile would have been 80 percentile. Whereas same part, 43.07, 43.07 for overall. Now can you look at 43.07 overall? 43.07 overall, if I divide by 3, is approximately 15 questions correct overall. So I'm just trying to make you one thing understand. This is 6 plus 6, 12, 12 plus 4, 60. But to get overall 80 percentile, you just 15 questions correct. Less than 15, in fact. Getting that part clear? What I'm saying? Okay, so this now chart is there. You can take your own time later and you can analyze these charts later. You'll realize that if I'm talking about the overall 99 percentile, and if I look at that score, 96.25%, 96.25 marks, not percent, 96.25 marks. If I go back and show you, your total marks were what? 204 marks. And out of 204, at you're getting 96.25, you will get what? 99 percentile. So that's not even a 50% score. So basically, on an average, if you would have scored last year paper 50% score, you would have crossed 99 percentile. Okay, let's put it another way. I'll say only 1% people, even less than 1% people, got more than 50% of the total score. That is a way to look at it. Clear idea? Sure. आगे बढ़ते हैं. So you can later analyze this chart in detail. I don't go by these numbers because what score are required for a particular percentile will change based on the difficulty level of the paper. So I just show you that analysis also here. Look, I'm just showing a CAT 23 and CAT 24 analysis. If I look at VRC, I don't see a much change, a slightly higher numbers, but more or less the same score is required to get the same percentile. So 60 percentile, 10.91, 11, almost same square. 13.8, 14.16, almost same square. 17.61, 18, almost same square. So VRC, I don't see a change in the marks required to score a certain percentile if I compare CAT 23 and CAT 24. But when I compare DILR, okay, can you see here? Last year people say, sir, DILR was easy. Why DILR was easy? Instead of 4 sets, there were 5 sets. So we had a more choice. Also, the difficulty level was also moderate. But that's not going to help you, because if the paper is easy or moderate, you require a higher score to get the same percentile. Can you see at 60 percentile, 23 at 7.15, you would have got 60 percentile. Now you require 11.45 to get the 60 percentile. For 80 percentile, 11.91. Here, look at the jump, 18.05. Okay, here 13.04, and this is 19.46. You can see a jump of around 6-7 marks everywhere. And at 99%, the jump is higher. At 77.29, this required 38.47. Around 11 marks more required compared to last year. Now, 11 marks or more required means what? Additional one set. And that's what I'm trying to say here. Look at 27.29 means 9 questions. Okay, here 38 point something means around 13 questions. So here last year it was a 2 sets, 23 was a 2 sets, 24 required 3 sets to get the same percentile. So if the paper is easy, you attempt and your what I'm saying, more number of questions you'll get correct to get the same percentile score. So that I need to understand very well. That part is very, very clear. Fine. So that you need to understand very, very well. So CAT 23, just 2 sets correct was sufficient to get that 99 percentile. Now CAT 24, you require 3 sets correct to get that 99 percentile in DLR section. Look at in QA also, you can see the change. Look at here. 5 marks, this is 6 marks. 6.56, this is 8 marks. If I go 90 percentile, 13, 16. So you can analyze that numbers. And you can see the serious jump in this. Okay, 77 to 96. That part is very clear. So that chart you analyze later on, so you realize, and I'll suggest you to see the CAT 23-24 papers also. Okay, so on our website these CAT papers are solved. You can compare those two papers, so you'll have idea. Okay, this was a CAT 23 paper, this level paper, so many marks will give me so many percentile. This level of paper, so many marks will give me so many percentile. Is that part is very, very clear? Fine. Okay, let me go ahead now. Now, just look at here. This part I have earlier explained in my previous session also. So some of people might find it repetitive, but some people are new. So I thought I'll just explain this portion properly. Now just look at here. I'm just going to give you one observation, and that is going to be really helpful when you're planning for your overall percentile. See, if you score 60 percentile, 60 percentile, 60% in every section, overall you will get more than 60 percentile. So in CAT 23, that would have been 62.5. Here also it is 62.5. Look at your number of marks required has changed to get a particular percentile. But your overall percentile, look at that numbers are not changing. You'll find everywhere same. 70 percentile, 70 percentile, 70 percentile. Here you would have got 74.5, is almost 74 percentile. So look at these numbers are same. Okay. So what I'm trying to communicate through this data, that if you get X percentile in every section, overall you'll get greater than X percentile. Overall you get greater than X percentile. Means to score, let's say 95 percentile in every section, I don't need to score 95 percentile in any of the section. So look at here. If you score 90, 90, 90 in every section, okay, overall you would have scored 94 percentile here. Overall you would have scored 93 percentile here. Okay, so those who want overall 99 percentile overall, that magic number is around 97.2 percentile in every section. If you score 97.2 percentile in every section, overall you'll cross around, you'll get around 99 percentile. Fine. So that indicates what? If you perform equally well in all the three sections, your overall percentile will be much better rather than getting a high percentile in one section and low percentile in one section. Okay, so equally good performance in all the three sections will help you to score the high percentile overall. So if your particular area is weak, particular area you're getting a lower percentile, it is time to focus on that area. Okay, because you can't let go that area. Because if you improve in that percentile in that area, overall percentile will automatically will improve. Rather than whichever your strong area will try to score more and more, there is a sectional time limit. So you won't get more time to attempt all the questions in that section. Is that fine? Okay, let me go ahead now. Now let's me go with the 5 weeks to CAT plan. Okay, now see, it is very difficult to guide at this stage because at this stage, everybody is at a different level of preparation. Because there are people who said, okay, sir, we have finished the full syllabus. Okay, and we are just taking a mocks and revision. In that, I'll have a two categories. Okay, somebody says, so full preparation is done, but I'm not scoring in mocks. Somebody says the full preparation is done, and I'm scoring decent in mocks also. And there's other category which I'm saying, okay, who said, okay, I have just started the preparation or I have attended only the classes. Okay, but I haven't solved anything on my own. Okay, but I'm still getting the low percentile in the MCATs. So all mixed kind of people are there. Okay, so my suggestion is that I just give a rough plan of those 5 weeks. But before that, just understand, as whatever part we have discussed, that number of marks required to get a particular percentile won't remain a fix. Okay, it will change as per the difficulty level. Okay, so you do not keep your target in the terms of marks. So what is relative performance? That is what is considered over here. So if the paper is too difficult, the paper is too difficult. So even with a one DILR set correct also, you can get 99 percentile. Okay, so that may happen. Fine. So what is important is relative performance is important. So do you think, suppose somebody said, sir, I have not done any preparation. Just understand that way. Somebody saying, okay, I have not done any preparation. Uh, do you think that there is nobody who has done any kind of preparation? There are people who have done there might be some 5%, 10% people who have done a good amount of preparation. So is it like that without any preparation, I'm going to beat them or I'll get a better percentile them just based on a strategy part? I say that won't be possible. Okay. So some amount of preparation is required. You may not do a full syllabus. Okay. But even if you're doing a limited syllabus, then you should do thoroughly that part. So we'll discuss that part. Fine. So that's what I'm saying. Your final score will be directly per the amount of preparation you have done. So with the zero preparation, you can't get a better score than somebody who is already prepared very well. Fine. So whatever time use available with you, make best use of that. You can still score a decent marks from this stage. So my first thing is what? First, you do the activity, count the number of hours available with you. Now that's not a rocket science. Somebody is working, so daily additional only 2 hours are available. Weekend full 8 hours are available. Somebody a college going students, Diwali vacation is going on. A daily 8 hours are available. Okay, someone might have some their semester exam in November, and after that they're taking CAT. Some people are there whose semester exam is starting immediately next day after CAT. Okay, so first you understand what is the productive number of available hours are with you, and then you do the planning. Out of those hours, what portion I'll give it for which part, and what part to prepare I'll give you in detail, and I'll give a support. Whatever I'm going to tell you, I'll support with the data also. Okay, fine. So when I'm talking about planning, that should be about a preparation and revision. It should be also online test, also all India mock cats, and also the analysis part is also included in this part. So my uh, general plan for those 5 weeks is what? The first is a preparation of basics. Somebody might have already done that portion, that okay, I know the basics of all the topic, then probably you are at a revision phase. Somebody has not done that, then you'll be at a preparation stage. So I'll say next 2 weeks probably you can spend for that. So almost 14 days, 15 days you can spend on that. So almost 5 days per what I'm saying, 5 days per subject. But see, understand, quant is a topic where probably you can do a preparation at one go. DILR and VAS is a kind of area where the ongoing preparation, the continuous long-term preparation will help you rather than just working on particular subject for 5 days, 6 days. Quant probably it will work. Okay, within 5, 6 days, I try to finish a certain number of topics. So I'm saying week 1 and week 2, you can include a week 3 if you are left with more amount of topics. Fine. Then you should continuously take the online sectional test. So that is from the day one, I should take an online sectional test because exam is in the online format. And once you give a test, you realize that, okay, I'm not able to score. Though I know the concepts, I'm not able to score. Then what is the strategy to attempt the paper that you learn through the online sectional test? Fine. MCATs and SAMCATs, that is your week 1 to week 5. So MCATs, do not stop giving MCATs. I'll discuss that in later. And speed versus accuracy analysis, that is week 3 to week 4. And finally is week 5, so you're finalizing the strategy. So that is a general plan I've given. Within that basic preparation, I'll discuss the things in detail. I'll tell you what to do, what you can skip. I don't suggest skipping anything, but still what you can skip at this stage, that also I'll discuss with you. Fine. And the week 5 is your final revision plan. Okay. Now, see, when you're talking about the preparation, okay, I just put it this way. I put it somebody who had just started the preparation. Okay, means I've attended the classes or my classes are still going on. That could be a category. Or let's say I've attended the classes, but I haven't done anything on my own. I will say it will be difficult for you to finish the full syllabus. Okay, so in that case, my suggestion is you do the important topics. Now, how to decide an important topic? That is based on the just what is the history available, number of questions asked in last year CAT, Based on that, you can decide, okay, these are the recent CAT paper distribution. Based on it, I'll decide the topics. Those who have finished 50% of the syllabus, for them also I find it very difficult that you will be able to finish entire 100% possible, depending upon number of hours available with you. If daily 6 hours available with you, you can reach that 100% mark. I'll finish full syllabus. If not, I'll say, okay, at least try to do the 75%, 80% of the syllabus. Okay. Now see, some of you may not agree with me that, sir, means I'll do a limited topics only and then I'll crack the exam. Okay, give me that strategy. Okay, I've given you, I have chosen certain CAD examples, and I'll tell you how that strategy can be dangerous or may not help you in actual exam. I'll tell you, I've given CAD examples. Okay, so I'm not going to talk about only based on the general GAN कि ऐसा करो वैसा करो. I'll give the examples where your strategy can go wrong. If you say, okay, I'll do only these topics only, fine, I'll just show you. Fine. So basically what I'll say, in when you're doing the preparation part, uh, see, I had just had an interaction with one of the students last week. uh, when we discussed with the student, she said, okay, I have prepared arithmetic well, but let's say I'm not scoring well in the MCAT. So when we discuss one by one questions for that student, we realize, okay, there's one question she skipped. I said, okay, this is SICI question. It's a straightforward formula question of what I'm saying, those annual installments. She said, sir, I have done SICA, but I didn't do the annual installment part. So that you don't do. That I have done the SICA, but I have not done annual installment part. This question has been asked on annual installment part. I have done time and distance, but I have not done clocks, or I have not done the circular tracks. Okay, so don't do that. But I have done averages, mixture allegation, but replacement I haven't done. You'll find the regular questions on replacement in CAD exam. Fine. So when you're doing any topic, do not skip anything. Okay, whenever you are doing any topic, make a note of the important rules, formula, shortcuts, whatever it is there. You make a note of that. So suppose replacement, you're learning average and mixture allegation. Make an important note. Okay, if the numbers are in AP, the middle number is the average. Okay, then what is the allegation method? How to apply that method? Basic rule. So make a note of that part. So when you're doing a revision part, I don't need to solve the entire book or entire all the handouts again. Okay, if you're doing a circular tracks, okay, if they're running the same direction, when they'll meet for the first time, when they'll meet for the first time at a starting point, what if there are three people? Make a small note of that. So I don't need to solve all the questions again. Also, when you're solving the questions, okay, you mark the questions for the revision. Means the question you're not able to solve. Okay, or the question, even after looking at the solution, you find, okay, it was very doubtful, but when you discuss with the faculty member, you understand the solution. Or a question in which a different way of solving or important concept is discussed, mark those questions. I suggest, okay, 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, you can mark something like this. So 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, the questions easy. Okay, I'll say very easy, easy, moderate. And 4 star are difficult, 5 star are very difficult. So 4 star, 5 star question I can revise later. That way you can do. In that 4 star, 5 star also, if there is a long expression to solve a question, skip that question. I'm not interested in that at this stage. Okay, but an important logic is used or concept is used to arrive the answer, mark that question for revision. Okay, so that later stage, in the last week, I can only discuss that revision part only. I can solve only those questions, or I can go through a solution of only those questions. Fine. Next part is the online sectional test. Now, online sectional test, look at it. People are at a different level. Suppose you are doing the topics. I suggest you take the online sectional test topic wise. Suppose you have finished entire DILR. Take a DILR complete sectional test. Or you can take, even if you haven't done DILR fully, you can still take a DILR complete section. VRC also can take a complete VRC complete test. But Quant, if you haven't done the full Quant, I will not say to take a full Quant section test. There you take a topic wise test. DILR, VRC, you can take a full section test. But online, as for Quant, I'll say that take a topic wise test unless you are finished with the full syllabus. Fine. In that, the important is not is that okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. People say attempt in a question manner 1, 2, 3, 4 in that manner. That is not the way to attempt the question. In that, the important is maximum question I should get it correct. So the logic is I should able to choose the right questions, or I'll say easy, moderate kind of questions first, and then difficult question later. That practice I have to do through that. Okay, so I don't mind you spending the more time in just going through the question and then attempting that. Also, it will happen that whatever the given time is there, you'll be able to solve only 50%, probably less than 50% of the test. In that case, post your test, you please solve those unattempted questions and do the analysis that I really choose the right questions. Right, wrong is a secondary part, but there was around 50% of the paper which I can definitely attempt in any test. So did I chose that correctly? That you have to understand first. So through online sectional test, more than accuracy, first you practice of selecting the right kind of questions. If you get a habit of selecting the right kind of question, don't hesitate to leave the question. It might happen that I did not attempt question number 1, I did not attempt question number 2, did not attempt question number 3, 4, and my first attempt is question number 5. That's okay. Don't get panic with that part. So it is an online sectional test, and that you can do it from the day 1. Okay, you don't need to wait for a day, week 3 or week 4 for that. Fine. Most of you might have done that part. Fine. Sir, how to increase 10 to 15 marks in all the sections? Ronak, I just put it this way. Look at, I'll take your questions at the end. But suppose, just understand, if there are three sections, 1, 2, 3. If you just do one mistake less in every section, forget about the scoring additional part. If you make a one mistake less in every section, your score will improve by +4. So that will give you itself, you will give a +12 part. Okay, so I'm just I'm doubtful that anybody's uh without whatever score are with 100% accuracy. So what I'm suggesting is with the present number of attempts, only just one mistake less, your score will improve by +12 marks, and +12 marks will be a huge jump in your percentile score. Is that okay? No issues? Chalo, I'll now go to the area wise preparation. Now मैं बोल के थक गया हूँ that there are certain prerequisites for quant. You must know that part. Today I'll try to give you some examples for that. So you'll have an idea how can you get stuck if I don't know these basics. Fine. Look at CAT. If you look at a CAT 23 and CAT 24, okay, quant, I find if you do the analysis, the quant is the most difficult area. If I look at the scores, you'll find a quant is the most difficult area. Student might feel DILR is very difficult, but actually still students are scoring in DILR compared to the quant. ठीक है, सो मेरे पास जो डेटा मैंने तुमको दिखा था उसी से मैंने डेटा लिया है दैट CAT 23 2023 88% students scored less than 12 marks in QA section. Means only 12% students could get only 12 more than 12 marks in con. In CAT 24, 81% students scored less than 12 marks. Means around 19% students score more than 12 marks. So bad situation is for the con part. Fine. So you check how much you are getting right now in the quant area, but this is the fact I'm telling you. So before going for the quant, you must know certain school level basics. There is no second thought about it. And I repeat this in every session. Okay, and I'll stick to my words, and I'll show you the example also where these things are required. So what things I need to know? I should need to know the tables minimum up to 30. I should know squares up to what I'm saying 30. Cubes till 15. Reciprocal values I should know up to 16. I should know 2 raised to 1 to 2 raised to 12 all the values. 3 raised to 1 to 3 raised to 8 I should know all the values. 5 raised to 1 to 5 raised to 5 I know should all know the values. 7 raised to 1 to 7 raised to 4 I should know all the values well. So these values I must know very well. Is that part is very, very clear? Fine. I just give the example. Look at, so these are the squares values I'm giving you. Okay, look at, there are some observations also where you'll find, for example, look at a square, 14 square 196, 13 square 169. The same digits are used, 169. Even 31 square is 961. Same digits are used, 169. So if you know the squares, then that observation will come in a picture. Look at 16 square, and you can see, let's look at a 25 square, same digits are used, 256, 256. So as I said just now, I started with one example where 12 square was 144. So this ends with 4 4. Help me to solve that question. So 30 तक के squares definitely पता होने चाहिए. 15 तक के cubes पता होने चाहिए. You can later go through this value after the session. This is a live session, so it will be available for you for your reference later also. No issues in this part. I must know all the 2 raised to 1 to 2 raised to 12. Look at 2 raised to 12 is 4096. So I should know this value. 3 raised to 8 is 6561. I should know this value. 5 raised to 5 is 3125. So all these values, 7 raised to 4 is 2401. These values you must know. It might happen that I know the basics of the topic. I'm not just don't know these values. I'll take more time to solve the question and not be able to solve the question at all. No issues? I'll show you that part. Just look at here. Reciprocals I should know. Half is 50%. 1 upon 3 is 33.33%. Till what? 1 by 16 is 6.25%. Is that okay? No issues in this part? Fine. Look at reciprocals here. All these reciprocals, I'm not going to all the details of the content now, but these reciprocals I should know in percentage values. I'm just going ahead. Fine. Okay. Now, you also must know rules of indices. Identities. Identities means what? What is a plus b the whole square? What is a minus b the whole square? What is a plus b the whole cube? A minus b the whole cube? All these identities I must know. Summation rules I should know. Many questions in CAT based on that summation rules. Simultaneous equation solving I should be able to do. Quadratic equation I should be able to do. In fact, can you try to get the roots orally as much as possible? Just looking at a quadratic equation, can you factorize it? So that is what is expected over here. I should know some BODMAS rules also. Fine. So I must know all these data well. So I'm not going in details of that. If you know all these things, after this start your con preparation. Okay. Then you'll find a con easy. Otherwise, con will be a struggle for you always. Now I just show you. This is, look at this question. This is a CAT question. CAT 24 slot 1 question. Fine. Sum of all real values of k for which 1 by 8 raised to k into 1 upon 32,768 raised to 1 by 3. Okay. And something, something, something they are given. Am I right? Fine. And they're asking you to solve and get sum of all the real values of k. I can solve that question further and so on. Now here, can I identify 8? 8 is basically 2 cube. No issues in this part. Can I identify this number? 32,768 is what? What is 32,768? Okay, now you only ask yourself, do I know these values? Whatever values I said, do I know those basics? Now, those are the things I can definitely do. On a daily basis, you read out those values. Within 15 days, all values will get, you'll be by heart, and you can easily handle these questions. Now, you understand. 32,762, 68, I don't know what is the value. Okay, but I definitely know, as this is a 2 cube, what is the highest value of 2? I know 2 raised to 12, I know 4096. I want this 32,000 something. Okay, I will say 4096, 4,000 into 8 should give me 32,000. Check. 8 6 are 48, 4 carry. 9 8 are 72 and 4 76, 7 carry. 7, 8 fours are 32. Yes, I got this value, 32,768. So this is basically 2 raised to 12 multiplied by 2 raised to 3. 8 is 2 raised to 3. This is 2 raised to 15. So I can say this number is 2 raised to 15. So once you substitute this number as 2 raised to 15, now you just apply the indices rule, keep the base same, equate the powers, you'll get the values of k. Or you can get a sum of the values of k. But if you don't understand this 32,768 as 2 raised to 15, then you can't solve this question further. You're getting my point? Some of you might do some smartness and show, okay, this is 8, right? So this should be some power of 8, and you can think that way also. But that is nothing but 8 raised to 5. You can keep on multiplying on a calculator by 8 into 8 into 8 into 8, and just check, are you getting 32,768 or not? But here knowing this value will help you much. Fine. I'll give you one more example. Look at this is a CAD example. Okay. Solving part is the later part. Can you identify this 2401? Okay. So some of why I'm giving you this data, because there are many questions I could have given. I just give a sample example. Look at 2401. Do you know this value? What is 2401? 2401 is 7 raised to 4. If you know 240 and 7 raised to 4, then further solving part is easy. And you can solve the question further. But if you don't identify 2401 and 7 raised to 4, then you will not go ahead only with the question. So a student who knows this value straight away write 7 raised to 4. His workout time is what? 5 seconds to know that 240 and 7 raised to 4. Those who don't know, they will take around 1 minute to identify 240 and 7 raised to 4. 240 किसका क्या power है? Their calculator won't help you. तो ये सारे values पता होने चाहिए. I told you quadratic equation solve करना आना चाहिए. Look at this. Look at CAT 22 question. F of x is x square plus 2x minus 15 upon x square minus 7x minus 18 is negative if and only if. Is that okay? Now here, if I want to solve a proper method, okay, then what I'm expecting is, can I factorize this? What is expecting is, can I factorize this? Can you split that plus 2 to get product minus 3? Kitna hoga? 5. What I'll get? 5 3s are 15. So this is what? X plus 5, x minus 3. That 2x second split. So I want this to be orally done. X plus 5 into x minus 3. What about this portion? This is what? It minus 9 plus 2. 9 2s are 18. Okay. So it is x minus 9, 9 plus 2. That part is very, very clear. So once I know this is negative, less than 0. Okay, now you realize, okay, this is a normal question. If you had done inequality topic, you know the standard method of doing this question. Now you can do and solve this question later. Is that okay? No issues. So I'm just showing, okay, if you know solving, if somebody knows how to factorize quadratic equations orally, or you have practiced that way, you will save a lot of time in the exam. If you don't know, then everybody is okay. Then those standard steps will come. Okay, x square plus 5x minus 3x minus 15. Take the x common, x plus 5. Minus 3 common, x plus 5. Take x plus 5 common. Left is x minus 3. Now this will take more time. So expected is this. So can you practice that part? Fine. Okay. Now for this particular question, you could have tried from the option also, and you could have got the answer. So I'm not discussing that part now. We'll have one shortcut workshop if possible later. We'll discuss in that part. Okay. Next. Fine. Now, as I said, some of you have just started or finding con difficult or planning to do limited amount of questions only. So कौन सा questions करना चाहिए, कौन से topics करने चाहिए? I'll just give the con 24 का split. You only decide which topics I should do first, and you'll see the weightage. Clear idea? Fine. So can you take around a minute to go through these details? So you'll have idea. Just go through the details. Okay, I've just tried categorize them in a different color. Look at, you can consider, you can see this is your arithmetic area, has a considerable weightage. 2 plus 2, 4, and 2, 6, 7, and 2, 9 questions over here. Look at here. 3 and 4, 7, 7 and 2, 9 questions over here. 2 and 2, 4, 4 and 3, 7, 7 and 2, 9 questions over here. You can see 9 questions in all the areas. Next major area I find is the algebra area. Can you see here? Okay, so all these topics have included in the algebra part. No issues in this part. 2 plus 1, 3, 3 plus 1, 4, 4 and 4, 8 questions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 and 1, 7. 4 and 2, 6 and 1, 7. So can I say, if you look at, if you do arithmetic and algebra, on an average, minimum 16 questions last year. Okay, 16 questions out of 22. 16 questions out of 22, almost 70% of the paper. Almost 70% of the paper is made up of these two areas only. Fine. So obviously I should give importance to this area. Fine. Now, I will give the syllabus for CAT, for Quant, what all areas are included, because this is a CAT 24 breakup. There has been question asked in the other areas also in CAT. So for example, here you don't see a trigonometry question. Okay. But if you look at CAT 17 to CAT 24, there are 2 years they ask you 1 till now only 2 questions on based on trigonometry has been asked. Okay, so trigo will also come a part of your syllabus, at least in that some basic ratios of trigo, not very high level questions. Fine. So I just show you the syllabus for CAT. First is arithmetic area, geometry, coordinate geometry. Now, if I look at geometry and coordinate geometry, geometry 2, 2, 3 questions. Coordinate geometry is 0, but here I can see 1 questions over here. Is that okay? So all these areas, that is complete syllabus of CAT. I'll just quickly show within arithmetic which are the areas, and then I'll tell you in what order I should do the topics in Quant, what to do in that, what not to do in that. Fine. So these are arithmetic syllabus, simple equations, ratio, proportion, variation, percentage and profit and loss, simple interest, compound interest, time and distance, time and work, averages, mixtures, allegations. This is geometry and mensuration area. That is a geometry and mensuration, and coordinate geometry also included in the geometry area. Algebra have included special equations, coordinate equation, inequality and modulus, sequence and series, functions and graphs, indices, surds, and logarithms. Okay. Numbers is a vast area. So I say numbers basics will have classification of numbers, divisibility rules, HCF and LCM, factors, highest powers, miscellaneous. Numbers advanced will have a remainder concept, last digit of a raised to n, last 2 digits of a raised to n. All this included numbers advanced. Number systems is the third part, decimal to any base conversion, any base to decimal conversion, any base to any base conversion. I'm just show you the full syllabus. What part you can do, must do part, I'll tell you. In what order I should do, that's also I'll tell you. And other areas will include what? Permutations and combinations, probability, trigonometry, statistics, operator based questions. Fine. Now, I suggest a particular order of the question, just understand that. So in arithmetic, I am suggesting you do in this order. You first do the simple equations, because Lot of questions will require a framing of equations. Then you go for a ratio proportion variation, and ratio proportion variation, lot of application you find a mixtures part. So that's why after ratio proportion variation, do averages, mixture, allocation. Because these two topics combined, you'll find a higher weightage compared to the other areas. Okay. Same way. Then you do the percentage, profit and loss and partnership. Then simple interest and compound interest. Time and work, you can see only one question there. Time and distance, I'm putting a question mark. Should I do that area? Because time and distance is a vast area. So we have normal ratio based question. You have average speed, then relative speed, boats and streams, linear races, circular tracks, clocks, all that is there. So I don't say you don't do it. If you do not have a sufficient time at this stage, probably you can do time and distance at the later stage because it will take more time for preparation. So probably if you're doing one topic of time and distance, half of that time you can do this much portion, which will have more weightage compared to time and distance. That is my suggestion. I'm not suggesting, okay, you skip the time and distance part. Fine. Yeah, Sandeep, we'll take the doubts at the end. I'll just cover my portion first. Fine. Time and work. So time and distance, you can take a call. If you have done in the past, better do it. It will you can it will have more less time to do it. If you haven't done it, I'll say if you get time, then only you do it. That's what I'll suggest. Okay. Now, see, there is one strategy that many people, students follow. I will do only arithmetic and I will attempt all the questions based on arithmetic and I'll try to achieve that target. Fine. To a certain extent, if you look at on paper, it can look good. Okay, yes, arithmetic has 9 questions every time. If you get attempt 9, even if you get 7 correct out of that, still you'll get a 85 percentile. You'll get more than 85 percentile or more than that part. Fine. Look, strategy looks good. But when you look at the paper, it is not so realistic. Why I'm saying, you will find most of the arithmetic questions are time consuming questions. Nowadays, you see arithmetic question, earlier arithmetic questions to be a 2-line question. Now you'll find at least a 4-line question of arithmetic. 4-line, 5-line questions are of arithmetic. Fine. Also, they are now combining those questions with some other areas basics also. I just give a rough idea. Look at this question. Just read this question. I'm not going to solve this question. The amount of job, okay, just a minute. The amount of that the Amal, Sunil, Kamal can do individually in a day are in harmonic progression. Kamal takes twice as much as time as Amal to do the same amount of job. If the Amal and Sunil work for 4 days, 9 days respectively, Kamal needs to work for 16 days to finish the remaining job. The number of days Sunil will take to finish the job working alone is. Now, do you understand or do you know what is harmonic progression? Then you'll be able to solve this question. So as a time and work, I know everything. I can solve a time and work question, but I don't know what is a harmonic progression. How will I solve this question? Not only that, I have to understand that your days and amount of work done per day, work per day, they are inversely proportional. Okay, they are inversely proportional. So if the amount of job done is in the HP, harmonic progression, worked days are in a reciprocal of that. That is what they are in a arithmetic progression. So what is arithmetic progression? What is harmonic progression? If numbers are in HP, the reciprocals are in AP, I should know that part. Then only if I know that part, further part is very, very easy. You can easily solve this question. There is no difficulty level is, I'll say, moderate. If I know what is harmonic mean and reciprocal of HP is AP. If I know that part, then the question is easy. I give one more question. Let's say you have done geometry, but you haven't done progression series. You don't know what is AP, what is GP also. Look at the geometry question. In a right angle triangle ABC, altitude AB is 5 centimeter, base BC is 12 centimeter, P and Q are points on BC such that areas of triangle ABP, triangle ABQ, triangle ABC are in arithmetic progression. So do you know what is arithmetic progression? You can solve this question. Question is not big difficult, just based on that area of triangle properties. But if I don't know what is AP only, then I can't solve this question. So that's why I'm saying that some terms are uses. For example, there was a question, dear, I just forgot to include that set in today's PPT. There was a question based on DILR, where the terms used are mean, somewhere the terms used are mode, somewhere the terms used are median. So these three terms are, there are many DILR sets where the mean, mode, median terms are used. Most of the time will define what's the meaning of mean, mode, or median. But how to find a mode? Can mode, what is mode first of all? What is median? What if the numbers are equal? Then how will you find a median? All those basics I need to know. Otherwise, that whole set may be easy, but just not knowing the meaning of this uh, 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 will be help as a will act as a speed breaker, or will act as a resistance for solving that question. Fine. Let me go ahead now. So that's what I'm saying. Algebra, I should know certain topics. I say you do it in this order. Look at last year indices search logarithm, completely rule based topic. There were almost 3 questions in every what I'm saying, in the entire every slot. One slot there were 3 questions, one slot there were 2 questions. See, look at the whole geometry. In some slot there were 2 or 3 questions. So less than half the time you took indices search logarithm compared to geometry part. So that's why, say, if you're doing arithmetic, then after arithmetic, time and distance, I'll say, okay, for the moment, you keep it at the end. You do this order: indices search logarithm. Then you do sequence and series. Then you do quadratic equations, inequalities modulus, special equations. At this stage, I'll say functions and graphs. You skip the graphs part. Functions, generally is what I'm saying, f of a plus b is equal to, they define something as f of a into f of b kind of stuff. These kind of, they define some functions. Those kind of questions you can attempt. Is that okay? Just a minute. Fine. So graph part, I'll suggest not to do it. Special equations, you do it in this order. If you get time, then you do special equations. So go in this order. Is that okay? Next. Geometry, these are a lot of areas in geometry. If you don't want to do the whole geometry, I will suggest do these 2 areas where you'll find a maximum number of questions. Right angle triangle, equilateral triangle, area of triangle, and mensuration formula. Fine, if you have a lesser amount of time. So do these 4 parts first. Then if you get the time, then bother about the remaining parts. Fine. Numbers, again, a vast area. At this stage, what I'll suggest, what is the important part where you can face the question? Look at, these are a must know areas: classification, dividend rules, HCF, LCM. You may not directly get a questions, but these will help you. For example, you're doing a time and work question, you require to find LCM over there. Fine. So important part is, I'll suggest you can do factors. Okay. Remember the concept recently question asked. And from this, I will suggest you to just do the basic. How to convert decimal to any base to decimal. So these areas only you do it from the numbers if you have a less amount of time available. Okay, if you have more amount of time available, definitely do all the areas. Okay. Now from the other areas, I suggest permutation combination is a vast area, but not many questions are asked in this area. One or maximum two. In this permutation combination, if you say, okay, I'm going to skip this entire area, I will say maximum questions asked in CAT, almost 70% question asked in CAT from permutation combinations are from the area digits and numbers. So it's a formation. How many 4-digit numbers are there with so and so digits? What is some of the 4-digit numbers which can be formed using so and so digit? So the digits and numbers based question, you do it. And for that, you don't require a big knowledge of permutations and combinations. Fine. Probability, CAT has not 17 to 24 questions. If you see, they have not asked the questions on probability. You can skip trigonometry. From trigonometry, you can do heights and distances. But that part you can do it using the right angle triangles rather than the trigo. You do it using the right angle triangle. Statistics, just know the meaning of mean, mode, median, mode, median. Just know their proper meaning. Rest part you can skip at this stage. Operator based question you can skip at this stage because you can directly handle that also. That is not a problem. Fine. So that is what I'm suggesting. This is a minimum syllabus I've given. You finish this much. This will give the high chances of scoring that 99 plus percentile. Okay, rather than doing only arithmetic, paper becomes very difficult in arithmetic, then your score will be down. Fine. Let me go ahead now. DILR. Okay, fine. Now, DILR, see, first of all, look at the way the cat is asking the question. One part is, I when I look at our entire cat paper, I realize that what they're doing, DILR is not a test of what is your knowledge or your ability to solve the question. DILR is more your test of choosing the right set and taking a decision. Okay, this is a set I will attempt and I'll get it right. Or if you get stuck anywhere, leaving that set and attempting a set which is moderate or easy. So DILR, the major practice has to be when I'm attempting the paper is about choosing the right set. However, when it comes to the DI part, what are the must do areas? First, you understand that part because recently, last year only CAT has asked the calculation based questions also. So my must know part is this is the basic part. That is this is from the calculation basic part point of view that I should be able to find a% of b. If somebody has given me 2375 upon 8928, approximately how many percentage I should be able to find, and I should be able to compare the fractions also approximately. On calculator you can do it very accurately and get the answers, but these three areas orally I try to get the approximate answers. Fine. So what I'll suggest, you first do a calculation practice of these areas, then you revise the basics of your percentage profit and loss, and then start your doing your data interpretation part. Fine. Understand how to use the calculator also. Okay, but that is very, very important. So suppose somebody says I have to increase the value by 15%, then don't find 15% and add it to the original number. So suppose somebody says 294 increase by 15%, I should immediately multiply by 1.15. Not I'll find 15% and add it to the 294. Same way, somebody says, okay, there was a value X. After adding 15%, it becomes 294. What is X? I should understand it should be 294 divided by 1.15. Okay. So how to use the calculator? Very, very important. Even you can use the calculator to find a remainder also in some cases. Fine. So understand those basic techniques, how to use a calculator. Very, very important. Fine. Now, I just give a few facts about the DILR area, and that will help you for your preparation, and that will give you the plan for your preparation. Fine. So if you look at a nowadays DILR question, it is very difficult to say that, okay, it's a DI question or it's a LR question. It may be a con-based reasoning or it may be a reasoning-based DI. Okay, so every set will involve numbers. That's a reality now. Fine. So I have observed certain things. Very frequently, they have ask the question based on concept of averages. Okay, so maybe it's a weighted average question or maybe simple average question. Many times they ask the question based on averages. Okay, then you will find few sets, as I said earlier, they have involved the terms like mean, mode, median also, and in recent years only. Venn diagram, very, very important part as far as the cat is concerned. If I look at the 17 to 24, there has been 9 sets till now they have asked in the Venn diagram area. And when I say 9 sets, they are talking about the 2 sets Venn diagram, 3 sets Venn diagram, even the 4 sets Venn diagram. In fact, there are certain sets where the more than 4 sets are involved, but how you represent that data, very, very important. Okay. And you will find a good variety in the games and tournaments. Fine. So what I suggest, look at, there are certain areas of this DILR where you require a practice. For example, Venn diagram. I'll say number one area you should do it. You need to practice it. You need to understand the basics. Here the basics are involved. You need to do the basics of that area. Then you can do the second part where the practice is required, is that averages part. You should understand what is the average concept. If the numbers are in AP, what is the shortcut to find the average? What is the weighted average? How can you use the allegation method to find the average? That you need to. So you solve the, at least I'll say, what I'm saying, 10 to 15 sets of these areas. Okay. Same games and tournament. There is a variety of questions in games and tournaments. So here also you solve at least 10 to 15 sets. So if you have a time study material, we'll find a question based on all these areas. So just solve these sets. You may not have an average based direct questions, that you can do it from the past papers. But Venn diagram and games and tournaments, we have a separate chapters in our book. You can solve those, at least 10 to 15 sets from those areas. So these are the areas where you require a practice. Fine. Where you need to understand the basics, because I can't directly solve a Venn diagram set without knowing the basics. I can't solve directly games and tournament set without knowing the basics, or having faced such kind of questions earlier. Once I do that part, okay, same way in LR, I'll come back to LR. Once you do that part, I will suggest these areas you practice first. Then whatever the past CAT papers are, I'm saying at this stage, you can definitely look at the books available with you. But at this stage, after doing these topics on the books, what I will suggest, you take the past CAT papers, solve daily 2 sets. And this is apart from MCATs and SAMCATs. So MCATs and SAMCATs, if I'm saying, if you take MCAT, SAMCATs together, at least you will be able to solve 40 more sets to that. So look at next, even for next, let's say 30 days, you practice 2 sets. You'll be solving 60 sets from the past CAT papers. MCAT, SAMCAT, even if you take 10, every MCAT, SAMCAT has 5 sets. So that will be 50. So 60 plus 50, you'll be doing around 110 sets in the next 1 month. That will be sufficient. So this topic you can't do in a day or in a week. You required a long time preparation for this part. Fine. Second, topic like linear arrangement, circular arrangement, binary logic, cubes, right now you can avoid. I'm not saying question won't be asked, but the frequency is not high, or you'll find cubes. CAT has asked questions, but not that frequently. Okay, so chances of you'll get a proper circular arrangement questions are very, very less. Or you get a question based on binary logic are very, very less. So if you have time, you do it at the end. Otherwise, do it at the later stage wherever you get a time. Fine. So at the moment, you can skip those areas. So that is my suggestion for your DILR. Let's go ahead. Verbal ability part. Now just understand this paper pattern. So for verbal ability, what is my suggestion is, I'm just giving you CAT 2024 split. Okay. Now this area is, again, this is not an area where I need to do a lot of basics part and then I'll be able to crack the exam. Many of the people, without preparing a lot of basics also, you can crack this area. Okay. What is my suggestion? I've given you CAT 24 breakup. You'll realize that there are 4 RC passages with 4 questions each. Then question based on sentence placement, para summary, or sentence. So your entire paper is basically more about the passage based area. So for that, you require a lot of reading part. So my first suggestion is what? First, you understand the basics. What are the types of questions are asked in CAT? So get familiar with the CAT paper pattern. So last 3 years paper pattern you check. Last 3 year CAT papers you check. And you check what types of questions are asked. Your 2/3 of the paper is RC only. So what is a non-RC part is asked in CAT, you just check for that part. Fine. So then you have an idea, okay, this is the types of question I need to solve. So my suggestion is, first, there are certain basics about each topic. Okay, so if it is a para summary question, how to handle those questions, or para jumble questions are there, how to handle those kind of questions. There are certain basics for that. Make sure that you know those basics part. Okay. After that, you do a practice, start solving the practice of those questions. Now, as I said, a lot of weightages for RC. You should be very comfortable in understanding the passage, authors view in that passage, and whatever what I'm saying, the inference based question they have asked, you should be able to answer that. So get familiar with the different types of passages. Like, you read a psychology passages, metaphysics areas, sociology areas. From those areas, you start reading more passages. Fine. So that will give the idea you're really comfortable with which type of passages are you, or which is your comfortable and which is your not comfortable area also. And that will give the idea which type of questions you can attempt in the actual exam. While reading these passages, also make the small summary of your passages. Okay, after reading the passage properly, here you do it without time limit. After reading that passage, okay, what author is trying to say about this passage, write a small summary for that part. Fine. So that will help you to score good marks in your verbal section. Fine. Now, after doing this for the first initial 10 days, what you can do now, you start trying to answer the questions based on the inference based questions asked on such a passages in the online sectional test, or you have SAM cats or aimcats available, or any mock cats are available with you. You can start practicing those part. Fine. At the same time, you start working on those para based questions also, which appeared in cat part. So for that, you can give a lot of online sectional tests are available on our time website. You can give those part. So here I suggest, uh, instead of a books, or right at this stage, instead of books or any types of handouts, I'll say, once you do a basic idea about how to handle those questions, more and more online sectional you take, more and more MCATs or mock cats you take, that will help you to do well in this area. Fine. So that's about your VRC preparation part. Now, last, mock cats part. See, many people take a lot of MCATs. There are many people, there are two extremes. Many people take a lot of MCATs, almost one MCAT every alternate day. Some people are not taking MCAT at all. So both are the extreme conditions. I will say a good attempt could be, also a good strategy could be, you take 2 mocks per week, max to max 3. If you're finished with the full syllabus, nothing to do extra, take 3, not beyond that, I'll suggest. Important is the analysis of that, because see, any mock paper you attempt, most of the students attempt around 30%, 40% of the paper. So rest of the 60% of the paper is not attempted. So first you do the analysis on the basis of, have I chosen the right kind of question? That's the first point of analysis. Second, have I attempted enough number of questions considering this difficulty level of the paper? That have I attempted enough number of questions? Third part is accuracy part. Fourth part is, okay, I attempted only 5 questions. That's fine. What is the average time I got to get those questions correct? Many times what happens, I got 5 questions correct, but average time to get those 5 questions correct is 2 minutes. Means only in 10 minutes I got those 5 questions correct. I got 4 questions wrong, but average time to get those 4 questions wrong is 5 minutes. So I wasted my 20 minutes in getting the question wrong, and just utilize 10 minutes to getting the questions correct. Okay. So if you find you make a habit of leaving the question, so you get stuck anywhere, leave that question. You keep a time. Okay, after 1 minute, if I don't get a direction in which direction that question is going, leave that question. Or RC passage, for example, you read the questions first. What kind of questions are asked? Am I able to, after reading the passage, am I getting a sense that, okay, I'll be able to answer those kind of questions what they have asked? I'm not understanding the passage only. Within 5 minutes, if you get that idea, you can skip that passage, you can go to the next passage. Fine. So whatever experiment part you have to do, you do it in these mock papers. So mock papers are not for scoring well. I'll say mock papers are doing the experiment and to come to a conclusion what works better for you. So the first 3 MCATs you got to score wrong, and only next 2 MCATs you got a better score. What is working for you, that you need to find out through these MCATs and mock cats. Okay, so analyze the paper properly. Decide on your comfortable area and scoring area. Being engineer, many students find algebra or geometry comfortable, but they are actually scoring in algebra and geometry. They might be scoring in arithmetic. A reverse way. Being a non-engineering student, I find arithmetic comfortable, but actually you're scoring on algebra area. Logarithm, I know the rules, I got the question correct. Indices, I know the rules, I got the questions correct. APGP, I know the formula, I got the question correct. Fine. So understand where you're actually scoring. Based on that, build your strategy. Okay, that this is going to help me in the final exam. Okay, always many students say, okay, this MCAT was very difficult. Okay, somebody said, okay, 2604 was very difficult. I can understand, but my score can drop, my percentile cannot drop, because what difficult, equally difficult for every student. So my percentile is dropping means what? I am not prepared for such kind of papers. So you analyze that paper. In that paper, okay, this one set everybody should have attempted, but I missed that set. So definitely your percentile score will drop. Fine. So that's why you set a target for the percentile rather than the scores. And most of the queries I'm getting in messages also for the scores only. There are no queries for the percentile part. Fine. Chalo. Last week is just about finalizing your strategy. That whatever MCATs have given, based on that, this is my plan. In the paper, in this section, these type of going to questions I'm going to attempt first. These kind of question I'm going to attempt next. Be ready with that plan. But at the same time, expect the surprises from CAT. As I said last year, in DLR, instead of 4 sets, they made 5 sets. So the paper is, you have more questions to attempt now. Paper moderate. So you prepare for attempting strategies to attempt 2 sets and get sorted. But now the requirement on the last step DLR was 3 sets. So RC could be on a difficult side in VRC, or RC could be on an easier side in VRC. So always keep your plan B ready. See, as I said, most of the students in Con say I'll attempt arithmetic only. And CAT has failed that plan many times in past. They are making the arithmetic more and more difficult or lengthy, so that you're forced to attempt the non-arithmetic questions. You're getting my part very, very clear. Fine. Also, do not pre-decide attempts. Okay, you can have general idea. Okay, so many attempts I can do, but don't understand that you try to gauge the difficulty of the paper. Paper is easy, attempt will go up. Paper is difficult, I have to, a lesser number of attempts can also give you a better score. So finalize your strategy in the last week. And one part I always tell, that you decide speed versus accuracy. What's your problem? Is your problem speed? Then you need to practice more. You need to practice solving more questions. Your problem is accuracy. I'm not getting the accuracy correct. A decent accuracy, I'll say 85% to 90% is good accuracy. Accuracy is a problem, then you have a problem in your concepts part only. You're not able to understand the question itself. So there's a accuracy is a problem. You need to revisit your basics. They're taking more and more online sectional tests, more and more papers will not improve your accuracy. Accuracy problem तो आपका concept में problem है. अगर आपका accuracy 50% के आसपास है तो आपका concept में problem है. आपको ज़्यादा topics करने का जरूरत है rather than solving more and more papers. Speed problem है, practicing more questions, more online sectional tests will help you to improve the speed. Fine. So that's all from my side. You have any questions, queries? I'll take that part. Neeraj, you're saying 5 questions correct overall, or 5 questions correct in one area? You're saying. Sandeep is saying, hi sir, every MCAT there are some 4 5 questions which I am not able to do, and after seeing the solution, watching the solution video, still not clear. You can skip those kind of questions. See, see, there are certain kind of questions, okay, where just taking one, framing one equations and making that entire lengthy solution, those are solved. If you're not clicking that part, it's not about you understand that, or if it doesn't click in the exam, there's no point in attempting those kind of questions. So that is the search we are doing through the MCAT. See, okay, these kind of questions I'm never able to do. So better not to attempt those questions. So maybe in DILR, somebody says a DILR games and tournaments. So there are certain students who follow certain sports. They follow football, they follow tennis. So any set in that part, they're able to attempt it properly. Yeah, or let's say DI, games and tournament sets. Many people say I get it correct if there are options given. No options given, always go wrong. So that is your analysis for that. Okay, without option, games and tournament set, I'm not going to attempt because in history or in past, I never got it correct. So that won't be a priority. Okay, I'll attempt the other sets, but get the time, then I'll talk about that set. Fine. So any questions you have, I'll try to address those questions. Other than end the session. Yes, any questions, queries? I'm just going through the other questions which are asked. Syllabus completed, but not cross 60 in mocks. Okay. Divya, I'll suggest you that you better for these questions that my scores are not improving. I will suggest you just have a one-to-one interaction with the faculty member so that what he can actually go through what you're attempting. Just saying that, okay, I got so many marks in the mocks is not going to help me. A breakup and also which questions you attempted. Then I'll ask you a question, okay, which areas you have done. Okay, these areas you have done. Okay, somebody say, okay, the area done is only 40%. Then I don't expect a very high scores because you don't have a choice of attempting the questions then. But somebody say, okay, I've done 80% of the syllabus, still my score is low. Okay, then I'll check his mock paper, what questions are attempting, then I realize what is his real problem. And then probably we can provide you the solution. But just you're giving them my number, I'm getting so much score, it's really difficult for me to guide you on that part. Okay, still what I'll suggest you is you just check, are you choosing the right kind of questions? Okay, this is the easiest part of the paper. Have I attempted that part or must attempt part? Have I attempted that part of the paper or not? You just check that part. Fine. Okay, any questions, sir? How to reduce the fluctuation in the score and the percentile? How, what answer I should give you for this? Okay, now my say, first of all, that fluctuation, you analyze why that fluctuation happened. Okay, is it I have finished the full, I know the basics of all the topics, and still my scores are fluctuating, or I have done a limited part. Whatever that limited part I have done well. If the questions are asked from that area, I score well. If questions are not asked from that area, I score low. If that is the case, then you need to prepare for more topic. If the case is other, that okay, I have done a considerable amount of syllabus, but still my scores are fluctuating. In that case, I'll suggest, okay, you need to analyze properly that why happened that particular mock. Did I get stuck in a particular DILR set, which took me 12 minutes, but I didn't get the answer. So that analysis you need to do it yourself, or you can a faculty can do along with you when you show the paper and discuss with the faculty member. So in con, my score has been varying a lot. I have gotten a maximum of 57 in MCATs, but in recent 2-3 mocks I've gotten 20s only, and I've noticed make a lot of silly. So it has to be because of the silly mistake. Because if you have 57 to 20, means some kind of blunder you must have done in the paper. So avoid those mistakes. You yourself has given the answer, Shreyans. Silly mistakes, how I'll overcome? I say you be very cautious about. See, there are certain kind of silly mistakes is because of the pressure. The pure time pressure is there. That's why those silly mistake happens. So I have seen the students who say they are doing the paper and they'll say, okay, 7 8s are 72. Okay, so 7 8s is not 72, but they'll say 7 8s are 72 somewhere, and they'll cross check also. They'll say 7 8s are 72. There I can't help. Okay, but again, you can't have so many silly mistakes that 57 becomes 20. Okay, because see, in RC, what kind of silly mistakes you can do? You interpreted it wrong. Your inference was wrong from that passage. So there is not a silly mistake. Then I'll say that there is a problem in the understanding that passage. There may be a silly mistake in the quant areas majorly, but not probably in a DILR part. Okay, DILR is a basically wrong choice of the sets most of the times. Should we doing the sectional test every day? Now, श्रेया अगर आपका सिलेबस हो गया तो आंसर इज यस. सिलेबस नहीं हो तो एटलीस्ट 2 वीक प्रॉपर सिलेबस कर लो. तो सेक्शनल टेस्ट आप एक सेक्शनल यू कैन गिव वन सेक्शनल टेस्ट पर डे, दैट्स ओके, बट नॉट 3-4 sectional tests. But my priority is next 2 weeks. Whatever, if your syllabus is incomplete, try to complete a more syllabus so that you will score better in the exam. I showed you, na, you time and work question. But do you know what is harmonic progression? If you know the time and work question, you could have attempted. Fine. So give priority to syllabus. If you suppose somebody says, okay, I have only 2 hours for working daily, so my syllabus is not yet complete, I'll say instead of sectional test, utilize those 2 hours for completing the syllabus. But somebody said, I have 6 hours available now. Diwali vacation is going on. I'll say, fine. Then you utilize 4 hours for doing the new topics or the topics revising or doing the new topics, and 2 hours for sectional test and analysis part. If you have covered the syllabus first, it's a very good thing. Then you're at a good position now. So you just make a quick revision of all the topics, make sure that you know everything of that, and just check where you are going wrong. You can do PYQs, okay? But I'll say PYQs for quant, I'll say if you do topic wise, for DILR, you'll do area wise, year wise, I'll suggest. Arushika, yes, DILR questions are difficult to solve. But what I'm saying, to answer to that, I'll suggest, okay, have you solved at least 100 DILR sets on your faculty solving for you? If the answer is yes, and still you're not getting DILR sets, the problem. But you haven't done 100 sets, so probably you need to do more practice, Rishika, I'll suggest. 2 sets every day, Shreyas. At this, I'll say 2 sets every day, enough. Because you solve 4 sets, sometimes it will be too much loading. It's as good as attempting one full mock of DLR part. So 2 sets every day is sufficient. If you do it for 40 days, if you do it for next 30 days, you'll still attempt the 60 sets through that. Plus MCAT 50 sets, 110 sets, enough, I'll suggest. Fine. So sometimes I'm able to solve 2, sometimes I'm able to no sets in MCAT. Anmol, 2 or 0 jara gadbad hai. 2 or 0 means what? When you're going 0 means what? In every set you're reaching and you're coming out of the sets. So make a strategy, okay, keep some time limit, na? That within 4 minutes, 5 minutes, if I don't get any direction, I'll come out of the sets. So after 20 minutes, you have done going through all 5 sets, you're left to 20 minutes to decide, okay, which one set at least I can attempt. That's okay. I gave the MCAT 2 and was able to solve only one set. That is fine. Anmol. But I'm saying the one part is, look at, I put it this way for DLA. The one part is what? You solve all of some or sum of all. Means you call some questions of all the sets or you solve all the questions of some sets. So if you attempt only one set, okay, it's fine. But there must be one set where some one or two individual question you could have attempted. May not be able to attempt the full set. So at least go through the questions first for DILR and then decide what could be the nature of the solution. That will help you there. Anmol. Quant, I will suggest around 20-25 questions every day is sufficient. Because if you're solving 20-25 questions of good difficulty level, will still take more than 2.5 hours or 3 hours for solving. Yes, this video will be available, Shreya. So you will get all those numbers and data which I've given you will be available with you. Fine. Should spend time in set which should happen. I'll say 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, if you don't get a direction from where I should start the set, I'll read the data, I'll read the question. What is the question asked? Okay, so along with the before answering the solving the data, I'll read the questions also. So I'll have idea what they have asked you. Okay, if I'm not getting a direction, 5 minutes in which direction I should be solving that set, I'll come out of that set. Full length test, two in a week. One, I suggest one on Wednesday, one on weekend. Every Wednesday you take one test, every weekend you take one test. So next 5 weeks you can take 10 tests. 5 MCATs and MCATs, SAMCATs together. You can take 10 tests, that is sufficient. Fine. Now, Anmol, one question if you are doing, I think then you haven't done the sufficient amount of topics for Anmol. I feel so. So first you focus on doing the more and more topics. So when I say topics means I say one topic at least 70-75 questions. So you have done and still not getting the questions correct, then as I said, you need to sit with the faculty to understand what exactly going wrong. But if you say, okay, no, I haven't practiced the enough number of questions, then I'll suggest you practice more number of questions or do the basics of more topics. That will help you to produce scores. Okay, fine. So I'll end this session now. So thank you all of you and all the best for your CAT preparation. Fine. So we'll have more videos, more live webinars are going to happen in the next month also. Please do attend those part. Happy Diwali, all of you. Thank you.